Welcome back to Mindful Stoicism, the place where we uncover the wisdom to elevate your relationships and your life. Let me ask you something. Do you ever feel like you're screaming in a crowded room, desperate to be heard, yet the world seems to pass you by? You bend over backward, twist yourself into someone you're not, and pour all your energy into making someone notice you, only to feel like you're completely invisible. It's exhausting, isn't it? Here's the hard truth. The more you fight for someone's attention, the less likely you are to get it. That endless chase only leaves you drained, unfulfilled, and questioning your own worth. But what if I told you there's another way? A way that flips the script entirely. You don't have to scream to be heard, and you certainly don't have to fight to be valued. The secret to being seen, respected, and even desired isn't in trying harder or giving more of yourself. The real power lies in something counterintuitive, stepping back and letting go. Yes, it sounds paradoxical, but when you stop chasing, something incredible happens. The dynamics of your relationships shift. The people you once felt invisible to start noticing you. But here's the most profound part. The biggest transformation isn't in them, it's in you. When you embrace this Stoic principle, you reclaim your energy, your peace, and your self-respect. You realize that your worth doesn't hinge on anyone else's attention. Instead, it radiates from within. So, if you've ever felt trapped in the cycle of chasing someone's approval, stick around. Today, we'll explore what happens when you stop fighting for their attention and start living for yourself. Trust me, everything changes. 1. They learn to respect you. Respect is not something you can demand. It's something you command through your actions, boundaries, and self-worth. When you stop fighting for their attention, you send a clear and powerful message. I value myself enough not to beg for anyone's approval. This shift in behavior may be subtle, but its impact is profound. In relationships, whether romantic, platonic, or professional, people tend to take for granted what is always available. When you're constantly seeking their attention, they may start to see your presence as an expectation rather than a privilege. But when you pull back, when you stop bending over backward to gain their approval, they are forced to reevaluate how they view you. Your silence and lack of pursuit become a mirror, reflecting their own behavior. They start to question why you've stepped back and whether they've truly appreciated your worth. This is where respect begins. It's not born out of manipulation or games, but from the realization that you are someone who values yourself. People respect those who respect themselves. By walking away from the need to prove your importance, you establish boundaries that define your self-worth. You're no longer seeking validation externally. You're showing that your value is inherent. Over time, this boundary setting shifts their perception of you. Instead of seeing you as someone who desperately seeks their approval, they see you as someone confident, secure, and self-reliant. This newfound respect often leads to deeper, more genuine connections, because respect is the foundation of any meaningful relationship. And here's the most important part. Even if they never come around to respecting you, you've already won. Why? Because the respect you've gained for yourself is far more powerful than anything they could give you. That's the essence of true freedom. 2. They begin to miss your energy. When you stop fighting for someone's attention, one of the first things they notice, whether they admit it or not, is the absence of your energy. You see, every interaction you've had with them, every thoughtful gesture, and every moment you dedicated to making them feel special has created a presence in their life. It's easy to take this for granted when it's always there. But when you step back and stop giving that energy so freely, something fascinating happens. They begin to feel the void. Think about it. Your attention is a form of energy. It's a combination of your time, your care, and your emotional investment. When you were actively seeking their attention, they were constantly receiving that energy, perhaps even without realizing how valuable it was. They may have seen it as something guaranteed, something they didn't have to work for. But now that you've stopped fighting, they're left wondering, where did that warmth go? Why does everything feel different? This absence forces them to confront just how much of a role you played in their life. They begin to miss the little things, the way you used to check on them, the genuine interest you showed in their thoughts, and the comfort of knowing someone cared deeply. It's human nature to only truly appreciate something once it's gone, and your energy is no exception. Here's the beauty of this shift. When they start to miss your energy, it's not just about the gestures you made, it's about you. They realize that the light you brought into their life isn't something they can find anywhere else. This is the moment when they stop seeing you as just an option and begin to understand the value of your presence. And it all starts with you stepping back. 3. You regain your inner peace. One of the most profound changes that occur when you stop fighting for someone's attention is the return of your inner peace. Think about how much energy you've been pouring into chasing their validation, constantly texting, overthinking their responses, and analyzing every little interaction. It's like carrying a heavy backpack that weighs you down every single day. The moment you decide to let go, it's as if that weight is lifted off your shoulders. Suddenly, you're free to breathe again. Fighting for attention creates a state of constant mental turbulence. You're always second-guessing yourself, wondering if you're good enough, if you said the right thing, or if they'll finally notice you today. This never-ending cycle doesn't just drain your energy, it consumes your peace of mind. But when you stop chasing and take a step back, the noise begins to fade. That mental chaos is replaced by something precious: calm. This newfound calm allows you to redirect your energy inward. You start to focus on the things that truly matter: your goals, your passions, and your well-being. You may rediscover hobbies you once loved, or finally make time for self-care. The space that was once occupied by worry and self-doubt becomes fertile ground for growth. More importantly, you learn that peace isn't something someone else gives you. It's something you create for yourself. By choosing to stop fighting for their attention, you take control of your emotional landscape. You stop letting their actions dictate your mood and start building a life that fulfills you from within. Inner peace is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. And the best part? It's contagious. When you radiate peace and self-assurance, others can't help but be drawn to it. 4. They feel the shift in power. When you stop fighting for their attention, one of the most remarkable changes that occurs is a subtle but undeniable shift in power dynamics. In relationships, Whether romantic, platonic, or professional, attention often dictates control. The person who seeks validation or approval becomes dependent, while the one who withholds it gains an unspoken sense of authority. But when you step back, when you stop chasing and fighting for someone's attention, you disrupt this dynamic completely. Imagine for a moment that you're playing a game of tug-of-war. As long as you keep pulling, the other person holds on tightly. But the second you let go of the rope, everything changes. They're left standing there, confused, off balance, and suddenly questioning what just happened. This is exactly what happens when you withdraw your effort and stop seeking their validation. The energy they were used to receiving from you, whether it was your texts, your calls, your constant attention, is no longer there. At first, they might not know how to react. They've grown comfortable with you trying to win their approval, and your sudden change in behavior forces them to reevaluate the situation. They start wondering, why aren't you reaching out? Why have you pulled back? And here's the most intriguing part. They begin to miss the sense of control they once had over your emotions. This shift in power is not about manipulation. It's about reclaiming your own agency. When you prioritize your own peace and stop trying to force a connection, you naturally set boundaries that command respect. Over time, they start to see you in a new light, not as someone desperate for their attention, but as someone self-assured and in control. That's the kind of power that attracts rather than repels. 5. You attract genuine connections. When you stop fighting for someone's attention, you create space both in your life and your mind for genuine connections to form. Think about it. When you're constantly chasing someone, you're expending all your energy on a person who isn't reciprocating. This effort clouds your judgment and blinds you to the people who are ready and willing to value you for who you are. By stepping back and letting go of one-sided pursuits, you shift your focus inward. You start to ask yourself, who am I really? What do I truly want in my relationships? This clarity is transformative because it changes the type of energy you emit to the world. Instead of projecting desperation or insecurity, you exude confidence, self-respect, and authenticity, qualities that naturally attract the right people. Genuine connections thrive in an environment of mutual respect and shared values. When you stop chasing, you set a higher standard for the relationships you allow into your life. You're no longer willing to settle for breadcrumbs of attention or fleeting moments of validation. Instead, you open the door to those who genuinely see your worth and are eager to meet you halfway. What's remarkable is that this shift also repels the wrong people. Those who would take advantage of your efforts or give only when it's convenient for them will naturally fade away. In their place, you'll find individuals who value the real you, not the version of yourself you had to bend or change to be noticed. So, by stopping the chase, you free yourself to form connections rooted in authenticity, respect, and true compatibility. These are the relationships that uplift you, nurture your growth, and remind you that you were always worthy of love and attention without needing to fight for it. 6. You realize your own value. When you stop fighting for someone's attention, something incredible happens. You begin to see yourself in a new light. All the energy you once poured into chasing their approval is redirected inward, and for the first time, you start to truly understand your worth. It's a profound shift. almost like discovering a hidden treasure that was with you all along, but buried under layers of doubt and insecurity. You begin to realize that your value doesn't depend on how someone else treats you. It's not about whether they reply to your messages, give you their time, or acknowledge your efforts. Your value exists independently of their validation. It's inherent, unshakable, and completely yours. As this realization sinks in, you notice a powerful change within yourself. The desperate need for their attention, those restless thoughts of "am I good enough?" begin to fade. In their place, you find self-assurance, confidence, and peace. You see that the love, respect, and recognition you were chasing were things you could give to yourself all along. This newfound clarity also changes how you interact with others. You stop settling for less than you deserve because you now know your time and energy are precious. You set healthy boundaries and expect mutual respect in your relationships. You no longer feel the need to prove your worth because you already know it. Most importantly, this transformation helps you attract the right people into your life. People who see your value without you having to fight for their attention. Your self-worth radiates, and others are drawn to that quiet, confident energy. Realizing your own value is not just a personal victory, it's the foundation for building healthier, more meaningful connections. And it all starts when you decide to stop chasing and start valuing yourself. The beauty of Stoicism lies in its simplicity. Control what you can, let go of what you cannot. Fighting for someone's attention is like trying to hold water in your hands. The tighter you grasp, the more it slips away. But when you let go, you find freedom, peace, and clarity. You stop being a slave to their validation and become the master of your own happiness. So the next time you feel the urge to chase, pause and remember this. The right people will notice you, not because you fight for their attention, but because you radiate confidence, self-respect, and authenticity. If this resonates with you, hit that like button to let us know. Share your thoughts in the comments. What have you learned from stepping back and letting go? Don't forget to subscribe to Mindful Stoicism for more insights that empower your mind and elevate your life.